Justin Trudeau shuffled his cabinet this week, and one of the key moves was Catherine McKenna, who endured online abuse at Environment. But will her new portfolio make it any easier to be a female politician?
I, Catherine McKenna, do solemnly and sincerely promise and declare.
Catherine McKenna changed portfolios this week after years of abusive attacks while she was Minister of Environment and Climate Change. Those attacks picked up after former Conservative MP Jerry Ritz called her Climate Barbie on Twitter. It ignited online and got so bad, McKenna even called out a Rebel News reporter.
I just would like a commitment that you will not call me names, that you won't talk about the color of my hair, that you won't make fun of me, and the reason I'm asking you not to do this is because I have 2 daughters. That there are lots of girls that want to get into politics, and it is completely unacceptable that you do this.
But the attacks got more and more vicious. Then came the election, and McKenna required a security detail after her family was threatened. Then, of course, her photo in the front window of her office defaced with a highly charged insult. Her reaction?
I am a bit shaken. Look, I'm tough, but I'm really sick of this.
But McKenna is not alone. NDP MP Jenny Kwan had a panic button installed in her constituency office, and former Alberta Premier Rachel Notley actually received death threats, many on Facebook sites. But this isn't just a Canadian problem. A study of 39 countries revealed that more than 80% of female lawmakers have been subjected to misogynist remarks, humiliating images, mobbing, intimidation, and threats.
Democracia brasileira.
The former Brazilian president, Dilma Rousseff, was called a lying prostitute by one blogger, and images of the president with her legs splayed on social media were plastered on cars. In the UK last month, former Tory MP Anna Soubry tweeted out a threatening letter she received with the word slag written in big letters at the bottom of the page. And former Jamaican Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller, she was depicted in a major newspaper wearing a bikini and demanding her husband's credit card. So McKenna has been shuffled to the infrastructure file. Will that put an end to the hate? Joining me now from Ottawa is Catherine McKenna, now as Minister of Infrastructure and Communities. So, Minister, of course, you were called Climate Barbie. That happened online. And then we've read that there was a big uptick online after a former Conservative MP tweeted that out. Is that what you noticed? Is that when it really started to pick up?
Well, it actually started a lot earlier. It started pretty quick after I was named Minister of Environment and Climate Change. I didn't do anything about it. For a long time, I thought it was better if I just ignored it. But one day, after I was a long day at the United Nations, we were in international discussions with world leaders about climate action. I came back and my Twitter feed had exploded, and I realized that Jerry Ritz had tweeted out something that had Climate Barbie on it. And that time, I just decided to reply. And I think my team was like, don't do it. But I said, just had enough of this. And so, look, you know, one of these weird things, I didn't even play with Barbies as a kid, so maybe that makes it extra annoying. But I was thinking about it, and my girls are kind of funny about these things. And they said, well, you know what? Time to get a climate action Barbie. So I don't know if that's the answer.
Is there one?
There isn't one, but if there was one, I think she'd be on a bicycle. She'd have her water bottle, a reusable water bottle. She'd have her, you know, metal straw, and she'd be pretty awesome.
A lot of the abuse happened online. Like, how does that change things?
Well, it happened online, which is obviously problematic, not just for me, but other people seeing it. I realized that you know, you can mute people if they're abusive. I block when people say things that are beyond the pale or are threatening violence. But I realized the problem is other people who engaged with me. You know, I'd have girls engaging with me, and the haters would start hating on them. And that is just, it was brutal. And it would be, you know, people internationally who would get involved with these folks. So that was bad. But then I also noticed that it started jumping offline, where people would stop and, you know, yell at me, you know, just hurl abuse. And I think that's even worse now, that we're getting to the point where people, you know, it's one thing to have an anonymous name and be doing it online, and some of them may be bots, they may not even be real people, but to have real people think it's okay to hurl abuse. And I've often with other people, so whether I'm with my kids or my brother with his young daughter, that is really unacceptable. And I felt like that was just a bit shocking.
Hillary Clinton has said that, to her, part of the explanation might be people reacting to women in positions of power. What do you think of that argument?
Yeah, there's something very strange. And I think social media has really accelerated this kind of unacceptable dialogue. I don't know if it's a dialogue, this unacceptable behavior. And now that it's coming offline, I mean, that's obviously a lot worse. And I think certainly social media companies need to step up a lot more. I'm often told, well, why don't you just, report if you just see something that's a problem. And I said, like, I'm not going to spend my whole day reporting. I could spend my whole day reporting people. My team could do that. I'm sure social media companies, they have algorithms, they have ways. They could make sure that people have to maybe have a real name or account is verified, but there are tools that they have, and they should want that. Because I think social media is amazing. It means that I can talk to a whole range of people, young people, sorts of people can reach out to me. You can learn, about things that are going on, really cool information. But we shouldn't have to deal with all the abuse.
Catherine McKenna, it's been great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks.